Hey guys, so today I want to share my thoughts on No Time to Die, which is the 25th installment of the James Bond franchise, and also the 5th and final Daniel Craig Bond movie, because Daniel Craig is now retired as Bond. He officially confirmed that he's no longer doing Bond films ever again. He wants to move on, and it was nice to see Daniel Craig again. Daniel, I know he's not going to watch this, but I just want to say thank you for being Bond after these past years, since 2006 in Casino Royale. It was great to see you as Bond. You were a great Bond, and we will all miss you as Bond, and hopefully your career will still do well after the Bond franchise, and yeah, and good luck with everything you're gonna do that isn't Bond. So anyways, yeah. Oh no, that's an interesting fact. Well, I wouldn't really say this is gonna be interesting for everyone, but for me, this is the first time I've seen a James Bond movie in theaters. You see, I've never seen a Bond movie in theaters. I've seen all 24 movies. This past few months, I rewatched all 24 movies just to get ready to see No Time to Die. In order. Sean Connery, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig. All of them. I watched all 24 of them, and I actually enjoyed all of them. Yes, I know. People are going to say, oh, so you like the bad ones too? Yes, I like those. They're not that bad, honestly. But, yeah, but like I said, this was an interesting experience for me, because this is the first time I've seen a James Bond movie in theaters, and it was a great experience. The audiences enjoyed it. I heard some laughs. Even I laughed at times. And it was an interesting experience, because I think this movie is probably special to me because this is the first Bond movie I saw in theaters. And I will always remember this. I always remember yesterday, the day I went to see No Time to Die, as the first time I've seen a James Bond movie in theaters, and it was amazing. It was a great experience. I absolutely enjoyed it. And also, I want to show you guys a picture of this. This is a picture of me with the poster of No Time to Die. It's actually outside of the Marcus Cinema Theater, so yeah, because after when I left the Marcus Cinema with my sister, and she also enjoyed it too as well. But I told her to take a picture of me with the poster, and she did, and here it is. And literally, it's just me. It was just wanted to remember this day. Yes, last night I went to see this movie, and what I gotta say is I really enjoyed it a lot. Now, this movie I was really surprised with. This video will contain some spoilers, so yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out, please. It is a great movie. Please go watch it. Now that's out of the way, let's get back to this video. So one of the things I really liked about it is the character Madeleine Swann, who was in the previous Bond movie, Spectre. She has more of a character development here than in Spectre. I did mention it before. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I did do my thoughts video on the Daniel Craig Bond movies, the other ones. Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. If you haven't seen it, go check it out first if you want to know what are my thoughts on those movies. I give some little details on what I think of those movies, so if you haven't seen those two parts, they're also separated, so it's a two-part video. Go watch it if you want to know what are my thoughts on the other Daniel Craig Bond movies. But for Spectre, I do like it, but I'll admit it's not great. I think it was a step down from Skyfall. And there was a lack of development. There was lack of character development on some of the characters, especially Madeleine, who didn't really have that much character in the last movie. Like she had a father who worked for Spectre, and there was maybe a few things here and there, but that was it. Like, that's all we knew about her. Here, they share more. They give us more reasons of why we should care for her, why we should support her, and we even get to see her mom. We even get to see her mom's death, and because it's pretty obvious that the villain, they thought that they wanted to kill Madeleine's dad, but instead it was her mom. So what happens there is that her mom gets killed by this guy who's wearing a creepy mask, and of course this is a flashback to Madeleine's childhood where her mom died, and literally all she had is her dad, and of course her dad died in the last movie. But it was pretty interesting, and throughout the movie we get to at least see more development for Madeleine. I'm like, this is what it should have been in Spectre. I'm like, it took you this long just to develop her more? I'm like, like, to me, I think Madeline has become a much better character than she was in Spectre, and I think this movie does it much better when they handled Madeline. She even has a kid throughout the movie. After that memory was done, of course, Bond and Madeline were happy, they're fine, but suddenly Spectre has located Bond, and the reason why they located him, the reason how they know that Bond was there was because of Madeline. So Madeline was kind of like a traitor, but not sort of, but not really. I don't know. I don't know. It's if you've seen the movie. I mean, for you guys who've seen the movie, you know what I mean. But then, of course, after the chase scene is done, then Bond just tells Madeline to go. And they're in the train station, and of course, Madeline asks, "When will we see each other again?" And Bond says, "Never." And that was it and then the opening happened. Of course, throughout the movie, there's a lot of entertaining moments and interesting moments. Again, like I said, I like that Madeline has more character than she had in Spectre. One of the things I liked about it, of course, is that we get to see Bond goes to Vesper's grave. Literally in the opening, in some of the parts of the opening, we get to see Bond visiting Vesper's grave, and it was a beautiful moment. Like just seeing Bond remembering Vesper, who died in Casino Royale back in 2006. And yeah, they even referenced the year of her death. So literally that's a reference that Casino Royale was released in 2006. The Daniel Craig version, not the other ones. Again, it was a beautiful moment, and it was also really nice to see that Bond remembers Vesper. Because she died, because she drowned in the building in the end of Casino Royale. And it still sucks that she died, though. It really is. But, again, and of course that leads to what I was saying, was that the action and Madeline leaving, and another thing I liked about this movie is the characters. Felix Leiter comes back, finally, after so long, or I don't know if I would say so long, since his last appearance in Quantum of Solace. He comes back in this movie, and he doesn't really do too much. Maybe a little bit in the first act. One of the few flaws I have with this movie is that, yeah, his character was a bit wasted. If you think about it, his character was a bit wasted because, it's like, his character, because he only did a little bit and he didn't do much, and then he died when they caught the scientist. And of course, throughout, the scientist has like this poison thing or this acid thing or something. I forgot what it was. I can't remember. Sorry. I'm really sorry. But, that this affects, for them to be after him and to be after this whole thing, with Spectre, because, it's a new threat. It sucks that Felix died, because, because he was a useful character for a bit, and then they just wasted him. I will say that's one of the flaws, that they killed him off. Come on. I'm like, it's been like 2 decades since we last seen him, which was in Quantum of Solace. That was his last appearance, and now we finally see him again, and he was useful for like the first act, and then he died, and it's really sad, honestly. It was nice to see Moneypenny again, Eve Moneypenny. Naomi Harris is still great as Moneypenny. Ben Whishaw comes back as Q. There's still some of the charming and fun moments with Bond and Q. I always like those moments. With, Bond and Q whenever they, when Q is like, oh god, or just, acting sarcasm, or, well, not sarcasm, but, it's like he sees Bond as a joke or something, Also, Ralph Fiennes as M. I feel like this one he gets to do more he did do a little bit more last time, but here he gets to do a bit more, although I wouldn't say not in action, but we get to see him more. Ralph Fiennes is still great as M. I really do believe that. And there's even a scene where he's looking at the portrait of Judi Dench as M, and they even showed some other portraits too, and I think Robert Brown was there, as a portrait, who was M in Octopussy, A View to a Kill, The Living Daylights, and License to Kill, and I don't know if Bernard Lee's portrait was there. I think maybe it was, but I didn't pay attention to it. I don't know. It was nice to see them referencing that, yeah, they're actually different M's. There's not, they were not, that they're different M's. They're not the same M's, because Judi Dench's M is a female, obviously. We even have a new 00 agent, who, I forgot her name, but she's played by Lashana Lynch. She was a really cool character. I don't know if I would say great, but she was interesting. She was pretty fun. She's actually the new 007 because 5 years passed since Bond and Madeline split. Because, Bond, it turns out that Bond has left MI6. They left them for good, but obviously he came back because, they want to stop this threat. And we even get to see Ernst Bielefeld again. Christoph Waltz returns as Bielefeld, and it was nice to see him again. One of the flaws I have with a Bielefeld in this movie is that he isn't in the movie a lot. He was only in that one scene where Bond, where Bond wanted questions of who was responsible for this attack, or who's stealing this, and why. And Bielefeld reveals answers, and he says that Madeline knows everything, that Madeline is the one who knows more. And literally, when I guess he was trying to tease him, and I guess Bielefeld was trying to tease Bond, and but at the same time it was true. He was telling the truth, but then Bond just literally was trying to choking him, and he died. Literally, after all these years, Bielefeld has officially been dead. Literally. Because if you look at the other movies, like, in the movies that he's been, You Only Live Twice, Honor Majesty Secret Service, Diamonds Are Forever, and even For Your Eyes Only in the opening, which that was Bielefeld, by the way. He didn't really die at all. Especially in Diamonds Are Forever, because he faked his death, and especially in For Your Eyes Only in the opening, which it seemed like he died, but his face wasn't shown, obviously. Maybe it's because of copyright. It's a long story with the whole... It involves with Thunderbolt, but that's a long story. That's another time. Anyways, as I was saying, after all these years, Bielefeld is dead. Literally. Bond has officially killed Bielefeld. I'm like, wow, he didn't do that in the last movie, but now he just did it. He did it. I'm like... And the new threats, the new villain of the franchise, Sefin. Which, honestly, Sefin, it has to be one of the best Bond villains I have ever seen. Literally, he was intimidating. He was actually a great villain, honestly. I don't know where can I rank him of the Daniel Craig Bond villains. I mean, Dominic Green obviously is in the bottom because he really wasn't that intimidating. I love Raul Silva. I still think Raul Silva is my favorite just because because to me, I thought he was even more threatening. But Sefin, I thought, was really intimidating, especially the scenes when he had Madeline's daughter. And yes, Madeline has a daughter because after 5 years, turns out she cheated with Bond, obviously, because Bond didn't want to see Madeline ever again. And yeah, they have a kid, and of course, she speaks French. Of course, yeah, because Madeline also speaks French. And the scenes, whenever we were in the scenes where he's holding Madeline's daughter, I was like, don't tell me he's gonna throw her somewhere, or he's gonna do something, or he's gonna stab her or something. I'm like, I was a bit scared, not gonna lie, because I'm like, please don't do anything to this poor girl. God. And of course, his looks is really intimidating. I really believe that he was a villain. I do believe he was a threat. That's what made me thought that, yes, this guy really is a threat, a real threat. I thought he was great. He was a great villain. He wasn't in much in the first act. Sefin doesn't appear much until we get to, like, the second half, I think. I guess the middle of the second half, is when we see him more. Because in the first act, we don't see him much. But once we go to the second act, he is in the movie a lot. And yes, he was intimidating. Although his death scene, I'll admit his death scene I do think was a bit... I wouldn't say it was satisfying, but I'm like, really? Again, the whole gunshot thing, I wish there was a more creative way you could have killed him. But it didn't bother me much, because in the end of the day, his death was actually pretty good, not gonna lie. The special effects, I think, are great. They are well done. The action scenes, pretty much all of them are great. I can't think of one action scene that was poorly handled or terrible. I'll admit there was a bit shaky cams at times, a little bit, but there's not much like Transformers sequels. Those, if you want to see a movie with shitty camera shakes, go watch Michael Bay's Transformers sequels. Because those have a lot and they will hurt your eyes. Here, no. This is the opposite. Again, the action I think was well handled. The special effects was great. The soundtrack by Hans Zimmer was great. It was surprisingly great. Although the theme song from Billie Eilish, I was not a fan of it. I'm sorry. Literally, it won an award for Best Song for Unreleased Movie. And I'm like, really? It's just, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of Billie Eilish. I have nothing against her. It's just, she's not really someone I would listen to. And her theme song is one of the weaker Bond themes I've ever heard. I'm sorry. This is coming from a guy who loves the theme songs for the Pierce Brosnan movies. I love GoldenEye with Tina Turner. Hers was catchy, though. And Tomorrow Never Dies with Sheryl Crow. The World's Not Enough with Garbage. And Die Another Day with Madonna. And even some of the earlier ones, some of the earlier Bond Bond's theme songs, like Goldfinger, Thunderball, or For Your Eyes Only, or even Moonraker. It's just, this theme song, I'm like, it's there, it's not bad, but I'm like, it doesn't really fit. But the soundtrack I thought was great. It felt like I was listening to a Bond movie. Of course, the movie is a Bond movie, but it gave me the vibes that I am watching a Bond movie, that I'm not watching just a generic action movie. I thought it was great. Also, it was interesting to see Hans Zimmer recreating the theme song for On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Because in the scene where Bond and M are talking, literally the On Her Majesty's Secret Service theme song is playing, and it was, and literally when I was paying attention to it, and I was listening to the soundtrack, I was like, that's the theme song for On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I recognized that. I was like, well, it does make me wonder, why did they choose On Her Majesty's Secret Service? Is Hans Zimmer a fan of On Her Majesty's Secret Service? Maybe that's his favorite Bond movie? I don't know. Who knows? And, of course, everything was great. And then the ending happened, which this made me realize. The ending made me realize that I officially really enjoyed, really liked this movie. It's the ending where Bond dies. I almost teared up, not gonna lie. I almost teared up on that scene. Because it was emotional to see that the British spy, after almost 60 years since his first film adventure, it has now come to an end. And that he sacrificed himself. Because he had a chance to get out of the island. Because, you see, they launched the missiles to hit the island, but Bond got hurt and got poisoned from Sefin, and of course, Bond killed Sefin, and this affected Bond to not feel better, and he was about to die, and you can tell that he was just not gonna make it. And he was even talking to Madeline the walkie-talkie, saying that I'm not gonna make it. Always remember that I love you. Thank you for everything. And literally, the final scene, the missiles start hitting the island, and Bond is just standing there and dies. This changed a lot for me. Like, seriously, I was like, what? Really? Like, this is how you went this far just to end Daniel Craig's Bond? I'm like, this is like the most this is the most darkest moment of any Bond movie, honestly. Even more dark than Judi Dench's M's death scene. I was like, my God. I'm like, and literally when I left the theater, when the movie was done, I was asking myself, what does this mean for the franchise now? So Bond is dead? Like, you can actually do that for real? I mean, you can, but I never thought they would actually do it for real. But damn, bro, like, that was dark. Like, it was dark to see Bond die, and now this means that, who knows, Lashana Lynch can be the next 007. Because she is the new 007, because Bond left. Yeah, this could probably mean, this could probably mean that Lashana Lynch, and I'm not sure, and it hasn't been confirmed yet, but this could mean that Lashana Lynch could be the next Bond, but it's going to be a female. I'm not big on that idea, but you know what? I'll be willing to give it a try. Because I should give things a try. I shouldn't, be angry in that. But they haven't announced anything about that yet. Because they stated that next year, 2022, they're going to start thinking about the future for Bond. So yeah, we'll find out what they're going to do and who's the next Bond. Is Lashana Lynch going to be Bond, or are they just going to cast another guy to play as Bond? Like, they're just going to bring him back. So yeah, overall, guys, I think that's enough I have to say. Despite some few flaws here and there, this movie was great. I absolutely adore it. I think it's a great movie. I haven't enjoyed a Bond movie. Like, I haven't really enjoyed a Bond movie since Skyfall. And that was like the last great Bond movie. And this, finally, it's about time we get a great Bond movie again. Spectre was good, but not great. But this is a step up. I really enjoy this movie. Overall, guys, No Time to Die, I think is a great movie. I'm giving it a thumbs up. Thumbs up for No Time to Die. Thank you, Eon Productions. You know what? This is a beautiful and wonderful ending to Daniel Craig's Bond, and possibly the end of the James Bond character, the male James Bond character. Thank you. Anyways, that is it for this review. Anyways, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of No Time to Die. Did you love it, or did you like it? Did you dislike it, or did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please let me know. You know, my friend Harry Thomas, even he enjoys the movie. I think that's his favorite Bond movie now. I don't know if this is I wouldn't really say it's my favorite, but it's one of my favorites. One of my personal favorites now. Yeah. So anyways, yep. That is it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of No Time to Die and how would you rate it. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So peace out.